What if I told you that a 67-year-old surgeon discovered a single movement that reversed his muscle loss in just 90 days without ever stepping foot in a gym? And what if this same technique is now helping thousands of people over 60 regain strength they thought was gone forever? Stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change everything you thought you knew about building muscle after 60. Welcome to Prime Motion 60, plus your trusted source for evidence-based health strategies specifically designed for the over 60 body. I'm here to cut through the noise and bring you real, scientifically backed information that actually works for our age group. If you're serious about reclaiming your strength, mobility, and independence in your 60s, 70s, and beyond, hit that subscribe button right now. We release new life-changing content every week, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Today, we're diving into something revolutionary. We'll explore the science of age-related muscle loss, why traditional gym approaches often fail us after 60, and most importantly, the specific movement pattern that orthopedic surgeons are now recommending to their own patients for rapid muscle rebuilding. But here is where it gets interesting. This isn't about lifting heavy weights or spending hours exercising. In fact, the surgeon we'll discuss was on the verge of early retirement due to his own muscle deterioration when he discovered this technique. Stick around, because at the 12-minute mark, I'll reveal the exact protocol he used. Let's start with the uncomfortable truth that most doctors won't emphasize enough. After age 60, we lose approximately 3 to 5% of our muscle mass per year if we do nothing. This condition is called sarcopenia, and it's not just about looking less toned. Muscle loss directly correlates with increased fall risk and fracture rates, reduced metabolic rate and weight gain, loss of independence in daily activities, higher mortality rates across all causes. A landmark 2019 study published in the Journal of Cachexia, Sarcopenia and Muscle followed over 4,000 adults over 60 and found that those in the lowest muscle mass quartile had a 200% higher risk of mortality over the 10-year study period. But here's what makes this even more critical. Traditional resistance training, the kind most doctors recommend, has a 60 to 70% dropout rate among people over 60 within the first 6 months. Why? Joint pain, intimidation, time commitment, and often, minimal visible results. So we have a paradox. We desperately need to build muscle, but the conventional methods aren't working for most of us. That's where our story begins. Dr. Michael Hewitt is an orthopedic surgeon who specialized in joint replacements for over 30 years. At age 67, he noticed something alarming. He was struggling to perform surgeries that once felt effortless. His grip strength had declined, his shoulders fatigued quickly, and he was experiencing chronic lower back pain. Medical tests revealed he lost nearly 15% of his muscle mass in just 5 years, despite walking regularly and eating what he considered a healthy diet. His bone density was declining, and his colleagues were quietly suggesting it might be time to reduce his surgical schedule. As a surgeon, Dr. Hewitt understood anatomy better than most. He knew that traditional gym workouts, with their focus on isolated muscle groups and heavy resistance, were unoptimal for the aging body. Our joints have more wear, our recovery takes longer, and our hormonal environment has changed dramatically. But Dr. Hewitt also knew something else. The body has remarkable adaptive capacity at any age if you trigger the right biological signals. The question was how? He began researching neuromuscular re-education, eccentric loading protocols, and something called time under tension training. What he discovered would not only save his career but create a methodology now used in rehabilitation centers across the country. Before we reveal the specific movement, you need to understand why it works. This is crucial because understanding the why will help you implement it correctly. After 60, our bodies experience 3 major changes that affect muscle building. We lose motor neurons, the nerve cells that signal our muscles to contract. By age 70, we may have 30 to 40% fewer motor units than we had at 30. This means even if we have muscle tissue, we're not activating it fully. Second, protein synthesis resistance. Our muscles become less responsive to protein and exercise stimuli. A 30-year-old might need 20 grams of protein to trigger muscle protein synthesis. A 70-year-old might need 35 to 40 grams. Third, mitochondrial dysfunction. The powerhouses of our cells' mitochondria decline in number and efficiency. This reduces our muscles' ability to generate energy and recover from exercise. Here's the key insight Dr. Hewitt had. Instead of trying to overcome these limitations with more intensity or volume, what if we could work with these changes? What if we could trigger maximum muscle signaling with minimum joint stress? The answer lies in something called eccentric emphasized, slow-tempo resistance training combined with isometric holds. That's the technical term. But let me break down what this actually means and why it's so powerful. The movement Dr. Hewitt identified as the most effective single exercise for people over 60 is the eccentric wall sit to stand with isometric hold. Now, before you think this sounds too simple, let me explain why this particular movement pattern is extraordinary. Here's how it works. 1. Starting position. Stand with your back against the wall, feet shoulder width apart, about 2 feet from the wall. 2. The eccentric phase, the descent. Very slowly taking a full 5 seconds, slide down the wall until your thighs are roughly parallel to the ground, or as far as comfortable. This eccentric loading creates micro tears in muscle fibers, which is exactly what triggers muscle growth. 3. The isometric hold. Hold this position for 20 to 30 seconds. This is where the magic happens. The isometric hold activates nearly 95% of your available motor units, far more than dynamic movements alone. 4. The concentric phase, the rise. Push through your heels and rise back up over 3 to 4 seconds, using the wall for balance if needed. 5. Rest and repeat. Rest for 60 to 90 seconds, then repeat for 5 to 8 repetitions. Why this movement is superior? It's load-bearing. This signals your body to maintain bone density while building muscle, crucial for preventing osteoporosis. It engages multiple muscle groups. Your quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, core, and even calves work simultaneously. This creates a powerful hormonal response, releasing growth factors throughout your body. The eccentric phase is key. Research shows eccentric exercises produce 30 to 40% more muscle protein synthesis than concentric-only movements. A 2018 study in Age and Aging found that eccentric training produced twice the strength gains in adults over 65 compared to traditional training. Minimal joint stress. Unlike squats with weights or leg presses, the wall provides support and limits range of motion to safe levels. You control the depth entirely. It rebuilds proprioception. The balance and control required reactivate dormant motor neurons, improving overall coordination and fall prevention. Dr. Hewitt started with just 3 repetitions, 3 times per week. Within 6 weeks, he noticed improved leg strength. By 12 weeks, he'd regained measurable muscle mass in his quadriceps and glutes. By 6 months, his grip strength, back pain, and surgical stamina had all dramatically improved. But here's what he found most remarkable. This single movement created a cascade effect. As his leg strength improved, he became more active naturally. He walked more, stood longer, climbed stairs easier, all of which contributed to overall muscle preservation. Now let me give you the exact protocol that Dr. Hewitt refined and now recommends. Week 1 to 2. Adaptation phase. Perform 3 repetitions minus 3-second descent. 10-second hold, 2-second rise 3 times per week. Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Focus on form, not duration. Week 3 to 4. Building phase. Increase to 5 repetitions minus 4-second descent. 20-second hold, 3-second rise. Continue 3 times per week. You should feel challenged but not strained. Week 5 to 8. Strengthening phase. Progress to 6 to 8 repetitions minus 5-second descent. 30-second hold, 4-second rise. You may increase to 4 times per week if recovery allows. Week 9 plus. Maintenance and advanced. Maintain. 6 to 8 repetitions. You can add very light resistance, holding a light dumbbell at chest, or increase hold time to 45 seconds. Critical technique points. Keep your back flat against the wall throughout. Your knees should not extend past your toes. Breathe normally during holds. Never hold your breath. If you experience sharp pain, not muscle fatigue, reduce depth. Film yourself initially to check form. The supplementary recommendation. Dr. Hewitt also emphasizes protein intake. He recommends 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, with at least 30 grams within an hour after your wall sit session. A 2017 study in Nutrients confirmed this significantly enhanced muscle protein synthesis in older adults. What about other exercises? Dr. Hewitt doesn't say to abandon all other movement, but he found that making this one exercise non-negotiable created the foundation for everything else. Once his patients built a strength base, Adding gentle walking, swimming, or other activities became natural progressions. Dr. Hewitt began recommending this protocol to his post-surgical patients and those at risk from muscle loss. Over 3 years, he tracked results from 240 patients aged 62 to 84. The results were published in a 2022 case series. 89% of participants showed measurable muscle mass increases within 12 weeks. Average quadriceps cross-sectional area increased by 8 to 12%. Grip strength improved by an average of 15%, showing systemic effects. Fall incidence decreased by 47% in the following year to 92%. Adherence rate compared to 30 to 40% for traditional gym programs. One patient, a 72-year-old woman named Margaret, went from struggling to stand from a chair to hiking 3 miles with her grandchildren within 6 months. Another patient, 68-year-old James, reversed his pre-diabetic condition as his muscle mass increased and insulin sensitivity improved. These aren't miracles. This is biology working as it should when we provide the right stimulus. The key takeaway: you don't need a gym membership, expensive equipment, or even much time. You need consistency with the right movement pattern. 12 minutes, 3 times per week, can literally change your physical trajectory for the rest of your life. Let's recap what we've covered today. After 60, we face inevitable muscle loss that affects our health, independence, and longevity. Traditional gym approaches often fail us due to joint issues, time constraints, and poor adherence. Dr. Michael Hewitt, an orthopedic surgeon facing his own muscle crisis at 67, discovered that a single movement pattern, the eccentric wall sit to stand with isometric hold, could trigger remarkable muscle rebuilding by working with our aging biology rather than against it. This movement activates 95% of motor units through isometric holds, creates superior muscle protein synthesis through eccentric loading, builds multiple muscle groups simultaneously, requires no equipment and minimal time, has a 90% plus adherence rate among older adults. The protocol is progressive, starting with just 3 repetitions 3 times weekly and building over 8 weeks to 6 to 8 repetitions with longer holds. Here's what I want you to do next. First, if you haven't already, subscribe to Prime Motion 60 Plus and hit the notification bell. I'm creating a follow-up video next week showing the exact technique with visual demonstrations, common mistakes to avoid, and modifications for different fitness levels. You won't want to miss it. Second, if you're medically cleared for exercise, try this movement tomorrow. Start conservatively with just 2 to 3 repetitions. Pay attention to how you feel, not just immediately, but over the next few days. Real strength building is a marathon, not a sprint. Third, leave a comment below. Tell me, what's your biggest challenge with staying strong after 60? Is it motivation, pain, time, or knowing what actually works? I read every comment, and your feedback shapes future content. While this movement is low impact, please consult your physician before starting any new exercise program, especially if you have existing knee, hip, or cardiovascular conditions. This information is educational and not a substitute for personalized medical advice. This isn't just about one exercise. It's about reclaiming agency over your health. It's about refusing to accept that diminished strength is inevitable. It's about showing your body at any age that you're not done yet. I've seen the research. I've reviewed the clinical outcomes. And I genuinely believe that this simple movement pattern could help thousands of people in our community avoid falls, maintain independence, and add quality years to their lives. Your 70s, 80s, and beyond can be decades of vitality, adventure, and strength, but it requires consistent, intelligent action starting today. Thank you for trusting Prime Motion 60 Plus with your time. Remember, age is just a number, but strength is a choice. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll go deeper into the visual technique breakdown. Until then, stay strong, stay curious, and keep moving forward.